blackberries.
Mr. Chairman, we're live.
Okay, welcome everybody in the audience and those on YouTube. Today is Monday, August 26th. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. At this time, I please ask everyone to rise and follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. We have any changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I believe we need to add a short executive session regarding an employee payroll before the budget hearing.
And that budget hearing is at 1, so we got to do it this morning. We have one at 11:15. Can we come out of that and go into another one? I don't know what the 11:15 executive is on.
Is that going to take 45 minutes?
Isn't it gonna take that long?
And I think we're just going to have to fit it in as we can.
So let's
Do you
shoot
know
for 11,
Lindsay's-
let's shoot for the
It's gonna be
11:15.
online.
Okay.
You want to shoot for 11:15 for the executive, and then we can move the meeting minutes later. So I need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the amended agenda for August 26th with adding an employee discussion at 11:15 executive session.
Second. Got a motion and a second to amend the agenda to add an executive session, and I think that's Idaho Code 2061B, maybe? I'm not sure. At 11:15, and approve the rest of the agenda. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Going to keep on going. Our next agenda item is an action item. These are claims, board order claims in junior college. Good morning, Rita. There was a lot of bills this month,
There's a few big ones.
big bills.
It was a long claims period.
We had one junior college, correct?
Yes.
So at this time, if you have any questions, I'll open it up.
I did not see anything this time that I had questions on.
I didn't either. That's all of them I understood and knew. So I was good.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims, board order claims in one junior college.
I'll make a motion that way, approve the claims, board order claims, and one junior college for August 26th.
Second.
Moved to second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Get a Christmas gift?
That's from the Forest Service, supposedly. I don't know. Oh, I'll take that one.
You get a rug? Over there.
Ah. It's not the Forest Service, but
That'll do hot stuff too.
the group. Is going to come give us a
Stuck in his car or something?
No, that one's to remove our interlock.
Oh, that's too remote.
It's dangerous.
And we had an overpayment on sales tax, huh?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. We, sales tax from the State Tax Commission, we were notified that they overpaid us.
Tomatoes coming out your ears yet?
Not yet. They're gonna come out our ears when we're gone.
bummer.
Blackberries are coming out our ears right now.
Blackberries.
It was blueberries last time.
Those blackberries.
Next one, yeah.
I'm totally jealous.
You weren't here last week. I had berries.
Would those grow down here, Rita?
I'm so bummed.
They should. They should grow down here. My mom and dad had them.
They're really good for you.
We got a lot of canes, so I'm sure we can share.
All right, thanks. Have a good day.
You.
We're gonna move on down. These are all non-action items. These are department head reports. And we'll go with Annette first. Good morning.
It's normal summertime. Everybody's starting to panic a little bit. School starts, fair's over, so everybody wants everything yesterday.
Yep, yep.
But we're working on it. We're doing okay. Trying to get Mike trained. Jeremy's been working on some of our Tyler issues, so hopefully we can.
Is it
See
getting
how
any
that
better?
Uh,
Not yet, huh?
We just had a meeting with support last week and he started working on it, so we'll see.
Okay.
We're still giving it our best shot, so. Lots of people are making changes to their plans and at some point, I don't know if you want to have a workshop or something on fees for that. I mean, right now we charge $50, but.
For the short term, or for the placement
No,
permits?
for changes to their plans, but I mean,
Okay,
they're making huge changes.
absolutely.
So when they make a certain substantial change, don't they have to have them re-engineered?
On certain things, yeah,
Some things.
yeah, but,
Of
And then
a
it's-
structural, you'd have to have it re-engineered.
right, then we gotta do a whole new plan review, and I don't know how you guys want.
$50 does not cover your cost. So we need to look at that one, and we need to look at our placement permit.
Yeah,
So let's have a
If
workshop.
there's any other ones that we need to look at.
okay, I'll get it together.
If you can, try and figure out how much time it takes to review that change,
Okay,
so we can really nail down, because you gotta be pretty close.
right, okay.
Okay?
And that's about it, I'm working on employee evaluations, and that's all I got for you.
Okay. Your new guy working out pretty good
He's doing okay, it's just Tyler's difficult for,
for anybody.
yeah, and we're all starting out on it new, and so it's just taking a little bit longer.
Okay.
But we're okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one up is Dee Dee.
Morning.
Good morning.
A little update, I'll just go into kind of our trainings and partner updates, because it's important as the director, we're getting back out, connecting with resources, seeing what's out there, or bringing them up here, or bringing them here to connect. Molly and Jacques went to a WIC training last week through Lunch and Learn at St. Luke's, just to learn more about what that program has, because we have so many, needy families.
That's a health district program, isn't it?
It is,
And it's really underutilized,
it is.
big time.
What kind of training is that?
Women's, infants, and children.
Oh.
So anything that has to do with women in need, that are pregnant, not pregnant, or have younger children, all that whole stage and all the community resources that we do have to access any kind of health support, food, nutrition, just lots of that kind of stuff. So, do you have another question? Okay. I'm going to be watching a webinar on emerging drug trends for drug testing. We have a lot of changes and new drugs coming in that people can have access to that are not you can't test through a lab. So I'm going to try to at least get a
Are
scope.
these like
what that looks like.
prescription drugs, or they're just homemade
Well, you can
stuff?
go to any gas station and buy a synthetic. Kratom is one that gives a response that acts like either methamphetamine or cocaine, and you just can't catch it. And that's pretty prevalent in our community. So I just want to learn more.
Any
about
gas
it.
station?
Any gas station.
They're
A lot of
like selling it over the counter?
gas stations, or like the smoke shops. Those are probably the most prevalent. But smoke shops. There's a whole bunch of. If you go in there, that want to enhance your mood or to help with anxiety or this kind of stuff, and they're all just synthetics.
Is it like those high
Oh my gosh.
energy drink things, or is it something
Some
else?
have that kind of stuff in it as well. Yes. So it's just to learn more of what it is it out there. So if you can ever catch a drug trends training anywhere, you're going to learn all the things that are are available in your town without a problem.
So they must not be illegal.
They are legal because
I
they're,
mean, they are legal.
they're not illegal. But they still can. I mean, like, I think many years ago, I think the epidemic was spice, and that was out there, all the spice stuff. And there's just, you just change a little bit of the compound of it, and then they can't catch it again. And so there's any mood that you want swung, there is a drug out there that you can get over the counter to swing it. And then, of course, if you overdose on it or you take too much of it, it's going to have a response in your body. And people who are looking for drugs that can't get it because they're being monitored, they're going to find it. So,
One way or another.
so anyway, I'm going to take, that's tomorrow. Feel free to come to my office. It's for about an hour. Vocational rehabilitation, the Idaho Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, they're going to come back up. They've been a partner that we have utilized and wanted for forever, ever since I've been in the business. I worked really close with them down in the valley. When I moved up here, there was some up here. It's just hard getting them up here consistently, and they've gone through staff. So they're going to come and do a presentation here this month, or this is all in September, to meet our staff as well as to connect up with the schools and anything we can get them. Their resources are about getting people employed. And so anything anyone needs to be employed and stay employed, that's what their focus is. They have to have some qualifying criteria, of course, to do their program. Mental health, drug addiction, stuff like that. But they would assist with transportation, medication, training, on-the-job training. They needed shoes to be able to do that job, whatever that job is. They are available to assist all that. And we've known they're out there, they just don't come up here consistently. So we want to build those relationships.
Do they certify like journeyman level work? I mean, who does that sort of certification? Maybe Neil knows, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't do any certifications, and I think that would probably still go through a bureau of something important through the state or something, but I'm not sure about this, how they do that. But they would help support the funding of that or the connection of that to a business here locally that does all that. And connected with that, Equus Workforce Solutions, they are someone I had not known before. And they also offer those same supports. And they're really trying hard to be more in the community, to be that hands-on, connecting people that are looking for jobs to a job. So they're going to come up this next month. Several of the resources in our community are going to join us for that. Also QPR. QPR is a suicide prevention training. It's only about an hour. It's questions, I can't remember the P, and then respond. And law enforcement is going to join us for some of that training. It's just so we know what to ask, how to ask, and then what to do with that information. My staff is one of the things they really wanted is that training. So they're coming up this next month. The Idaho Juvenile Justice Association is next month, which I've told you folks about that already. Jacques Lafay is going to come and present during that time on that Monday while I am down there. And then I'm actually going to be on vacation the next time. But I'll send something to you guys in writing for that. I'm also working with Cascade School. Last week I was invited to come sit on a discussion about behavior and policy changes that they're wanting to incorporate in their school. They're working hard on reducing that school to prison pipeline, that just because you get possession in school, you're not necessarily suspended, but they want to work some kind of program that's also getting resources and not kicking a kid out of school. Because that's, once you kick a kid out of school, they're already back, 5 days. Or if they have just a tobacco ticket at school, and so many policies kick kids out of school for no tolerance or zero tolerance, and you actually set them back. So they're really working hard with their policies on how to keep kids in school and connected. I'll be meeting with other misdemeanor probation officer directors for training. So I'm new in the misdemeanor probation department, so I'm going to be working towards meeting up with them in different jurisdictions to learn more. One, how I can do a better job. So I'm going to try to be just locally. They're going over to Grangeville or going down to Boise or going over to Canyon County to meet with those directors. I have kind of those laid out over the next month or so. Post, I'll be teaching at Post next month for the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections Family Engagement. I have Juvenile Justice Commission next month. And then I do have an intern that starts next Monday. I'll be sharing them with several different departments, but I'm excited to see how that rolls out.
Good.
Where's
then-
the intern from?
Huh?
Where's the intern from?
He's local and he does online, and he's in his last year of criminal justice, and his plan is to go into law. But he had seen me speak a long time ago and felt that this would be a good connection to at least start introducing him to what the criminal system has to offer.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so you'll see him around. He'll be in court quite a bit, just learning all the lingo. To be an attorney, you got to deal with the uncomfortable. So I'm going to put him in as many uncomfortable situations as I can. So be ready.
How's Nikki working out?
Rock star, and she just was part of the softball game. How she even performed that softball game is how she performs at work. She's a tiny little thing, but man, that girl's got something. She's quick. She's she can fit into any role and be professional, and yeah, she's great. I'm spoiled.
That's awesome.
Yes. And then the final was signage. I was kind of walked in with the two commissioners here having a conversation, and I'm going to get some signage in our front lobby. One of the biggest struggles is when people come into our front door, they see police department, and then they see just Valley County on this side. And there's a lot of people going to the McCall Police Department saying, I'm here for probation, and they would like that traffic eliminated if they could. So, so I'm getting probation services written on the wall, as well as we're going to have a sign right when you come in the door that says McCall Police Department this way and probation this way to help mitigate some of that traffic. So just finalizing that, making sure I have enough in my this year's budget to get it before October.
All right.
That's it. Perfect.
Thanks,
Okay,
Dee Dee.
thanks, Dee Dee. Okay, the next one up is Melissa, and she texted this morning that she's out of town, so we're gonna go to Mike. Bada bing, bada boom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys are cranking right through this today. So anyway, just wanted to give you a quick update on recruitment activities. As Dee Dee mentioned, we've got an intern coming on board, hopefully in a week from tomorrow, and working on getting some paperwork all filled out with that gentleman. We also have our grant writer starting next week. Ken Schlegel is finally coming on board, and he is ready to go. He's been, sounds like he's excited to be
Can you
here.
give us that name again?
Ken Schlegel.
Thank you, Schlegel.
So Mike, there's an opportunity for him to take a training this week. Would that be a no-no since he's not on board yet?
Oh, I think we
Wants to
could.
take it.
I think if there's a training available, do you know what day?
28th, I forwarded it on to his personal email.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He'll be on board with us.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't stepping over somewhere.
No, not at all. No, that'd be perfectly fine. Other positions that we are currently recruiting for, we have a lot of them over in the sheriff's office right now. We've got 911 dispatch and detention deputy. Those have been ongoing. We also have a civil clerk position and now a driver's license clerk position that we're recruiting for over there. Same level job, very similar duties, but we had two different announcements out, and we've received applications on all of those. The only other thing we've got, of course, open is a mechanic for the road department. Again, they have been receiving some applications for that. They've been getting forwarded on to the hiring team over there for review and interviewing. So hopefully we'll have good news on that. And then just some upcoming positions, as horrible as it is to say. Larry Laxon just said, hey, we got to start recruiting for snow groomers. And it's like, man, we're in the middle of summer. But anyway, we do have to get ahead of that. So I'll be probably working with Larry on getting an announcement together and published here before long. And then depending on what we approve for the next budget cycle, I may be recruiting for some janitorial staff and at least one position for P&Z.
That's what I was thought of last night, and we need to start going out for the janitor positions. 'Cause that's gonna be interesting.
Now, with protocol with that, is it okay for me to recruit before you've voted on that?
or voting on it.
I mean, recruiting doesn't guarantee us anything. It's not committing us to
I
anything.
don't see an issue with go ahead and recruit.
Okay, then I will be happy to get that out.
Budget, so.
Aren't some of these people gonna be working in-house, so?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna have 2 full-time, 1 part-time is what the plan is right now.
Full-time and 1 part.
Well, that's pretty much what I got going on right now.
Cool.
But other little things too,
Yeah.
but you know.
Paddles.
I'm trying to write here. So, we're gonna have an executive at 11:15 that you could be at, please.
Okay,
Unless we move through all this stuff
And
faster.
then- Or we might even get to it sooner if
yeah,
it
no problem.
wasn't through.
Yep,
Okay,
I'll be available.
thanks.
All right, thank you.
Next victim, Jeremy. Good morning.
How?
Good morning. Just a few things, just trucking along as always. We're gonna do a walkthrough with Commissioner Mopin on Wednesday in the Maritidal building to start planning for that move at the beginning of the year.
That's like where you got a string connections and all that stuff?
Yeah, I know that there was talk of hiring somebody to go and look at who's gonna move and when and needs and all that kind of stuff, but I just need a layout of where we're like, I know where everything in the basement is, but up on that first floor, I don't know what kind of network ports are, if there's any in the floors, if they're all on the wall. So I just need to do a quick walkthrough and just see what I'm dealing with so I can make some
Well, and I
plans.
know Molly Landers, who's worked there forever. I'm sure she would help you with any of that stuff. If you had any questions, if she's there, she could show you where the stuff is too. So I wouldn't be afraid to ask. They're great gals.
While you were gone last week, we did hire Clearwater
Oh,
Financial
did you?
to, they're gonna do a scoping with all the employees to discuss their needs down there and also get an architect to lay it out so that we actually can make sure that we're using that facility highest and best use.
Do you remember how much that was?
They're gonna give us a bid,
Okay.
so they'll be back
Good
here
eye,
in a
good
week or two
job.
and give us a bid.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, so make sure that there's not too many delays and we have everything as well as possible ready to go and get people over there. I'll be in Boise next Thursday for the annual IT conference. They're doing it the first week of the month instead of during the week of the conference for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. So I'll be down there on Thursday for that. And then other than that, I'm still just working on various projects, the network upgrade. Thermostat stuff is, my part's pretty much done, and I know they've been working on a lot, so I think that's, I'm sure Scott's updated you on that, on how that's, his part of that is going. And then just some other various miscellaneous things, still working on getting a plan together for moving to the .gov domain and some other minor things, so.
So I just sat through a big IT presentation and that .gov recommendation is all over the place that we get there sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
so.
I think, in fact, I think there's certain grants that moving forward, you have to have a .gov before they'll even consider you. So yeah, it's big. It's a big deal. It's a big thing.
Jeremy, is there a lot more scam stuff going out? It seems like there's an awful lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you for
Man.
reminding me. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, it's been quiet for a while, but just a good reminder for everybody to be vigilant because you've probably noticed in the last couple of weeks, a lot of various partner agencies somebody has gotten their email compromised and they send a blast out to everybody in their mail list trying to get other agencies to click on things that are compromised. So yeah, there is. It's been a pretty big uptick in the last few weeks for sure of those things happening.
Everybody be careful. Don't open stuff that you shouldn't open.
Absolutely. And always feel free to check with us. And don't be afraid to verify with, and this goes for anybody listening, verify with whoever sent you the email if it looks weird to make sure it was a real thing, all those kinds of
Is
things.
there any way you could tell if somebody's gotten into this one? This iPad.
Yeah, I get alerts and we can look through the logs and see if there's
I might stop
login
after the
attempts
meeting
from.
today and have you just take a quick look at it. everything is different. I don't know if I've been hacked or not. I've been really careful, but there's a lot of weird stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
But, yep.
any more questions for Jeremy? I guess you're good.
Favor say aye.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks.
Yep, thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thanks.
Cinda. Good morning.
Good morning. We are just rolling as usual. We've got, a lot of applications, final plats. Most of them you're involved with. Well, a lot of things you're involved with, building permits and all that stuff. Todd is going to be taking a webinar this week. I'm kind of excited about it. It's prepare your case. And it tells code compliance people how to prepare documentation, report writing, and evidence.
Nice.
So he's being very active in, becoming familiar with terminology and how to put together his reports and, just his tracking of things. So kind of
It's time to
excited
do
about
that with
that.
Lori out. That's exciting.
Huh?
It's time to do that with Lori out.
Sure. Sure. You just make time for things like that. They don't come up that often. He did have to postpone, his surgery,
You did?
No.
Oh, okay.
physical therapy.
Is this an inside joke that we don't know about?
No, just only in my mind, Elt.
Only in your mind.
So, yeah, thanks, Larry. So we're just busy. Lori's out. Was out last week. She's out this week, and starting in September through October, between Lori and I and Todd, we're all going to some sort of trainings. It's just conference time, and we'll get through it.
And, as you know, I went to Glacier last week, National Park, and as soon as I hit the border of Montana, it was obvious that they don't have a lot of the ordinances that Idaho has, especially Valley County, but every other yard had 6 to 20 cars in it, all the way clear to Glacier. I was just blown away by the junk cars along the roads and interstates. And I'm not saying we need an abandoned car ordinance right now, but I think it's something that we really need to discuss sometime in the future because it was a disaster.
Not to change the subject, but I do like that drive because of that billboard thing that you can pull into. They've got like 10 different billboards up there. They obviously don't have a billboard ordinance.
Obviously not.
Obviously not, yeah. So we've got all that. It was kind of funny last week, Todd said, well, they must have gotten the word, people have heard because, he's not finding signs,
Good.
And towards the beginning of the year, new realtors come on or new people and they start posting and he's really out there. He goes out at least once a week. And is in communication with people. He's doing a great job.
We still need a billboard at the end of the valley.
What's it say?
People be nice or go home.
Oh, welcome to Valley County. Oh, yeah, the ITD was supposed to put the signs up. I haven't checked yet. At the welcome to Valley County for the building permit needed.
Where's that going?
Where the entering Valley County sign,
Oh, right at the border.
Yep, right at the border.
I was just through there the other day and I haven't seen anything yet.
They were out there putting it up, so it should be there. Kind of excited about that. And they were going to replace the one up by McCall too. So,
Thank you for doing that.
Okay, any more questions for Cinda?
You'd sent us an email asking if we got the staff report in our packet. We only got a cover letter and the development agreement on McGregor.
oh, there's a whole staff report.
Okay, will you send it
I
again?
will send that to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Did you get it, Neil?
I think so. I've got about 3 or 4 different things from you on McGregor.
In our packet?
Not in the packet, but just from Cinda on our,
I had her send a couple things.
I'll just send it separate, what I had sent for the packet.
She sent our compatibility ratings back to us. I'll need those.
Yeah, it summarized everything, all the noticing, where we were at, in the deliberations, next steps. So I'll get that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Nope. Okay,
I think
thanks.
so. Have a good day.
You too.
Mr. Laxon.
Morning.
Good morning.
It's not in.
Real disappointed I haven't received my $5 million from the Nigerian prince, but I'm sure it's in the mail,
Oh, yeah. Coming to me first.
of course. We finally got the hand sanitizers installed in our new vaulted toilets, so we're catching up on that. Brush Creek and Lick Creek. We're finished the specs on the new groomer, and they have been sent into the state, so the state can get it on order. Moving forward on our strategic plan for the recreation. I mean, it's looking good. You guys, I think, are going to be very impressed when it's all said and done. We started grant writing. Our grants this year are going to be, at this point, Francie Wallace vaulted toilet, Little Lake, Turkey Track. These are all vaulted toilets. Boulder vaulted toilet.
Doesn't Boulder have one?
Up at the reservoir, but not down where the turkey track's going to be.
Oh, got it.
And we've sent letters out to a lot of our partners, especially on the stuff up north, for like Francie Wallace, to try to get all our matches from our partners as much as possible before we start finishing these things up. We really need a grant for pathways for engineering. Engineering is becoming a huge cost, so we're going to look for grants for engineering. We're posting the public notices for the FAA public hearing on the 30th of September. We'll have that all done. Pickleball grand opening September 7th at 10 a.m. We're trying again.
What day of the week?
I'm sorry, Larry, you said September 30th for the FAA.
That's when we're having the
The
opening.
pickleball is when?
So pickleball is September 7th at 10 a.m.
7.
That place is just flat packed all the time.
I'll be gone.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what we're doing. We're busy. Rolling on. I really thought this weekend it rained on Saturday. I thought it wouldn't be. We were still packed with people all day. It's just craziness.
Groomers, or you're looking for
But where are
groomers?
you going to go? You can't go to Stanley. You can't go to
We're gonna
Loman.
get-
You know,
It's
you
gonna
can't.
overwhelm us again.
Yeah.
Go anywhere.
You can't go to Deadwood, you can't go.
Right.
We're just gonna get overwhelmed.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears right now is I talked to the forest last Friday, and they're planning on opening Anderson Creek by the 30th, because 30th is when archery starts. I can't imagine the amount of bow hunters that are going to be just coming here because they can't go anyplace else. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, any questions?
The groomer said you're looking for groomers. Are the guys coming back from last year?
Yeah, we're looking at, I know 5 are coming back for sure, possibly a 6th one. We're losing a couple and one that we really don't want to bring back, so. And like I've said in the past, 3 of our guys are aging out. And so we're constantly trying to train people, just in case.
Larry, where are we on the new slide for Cabarton? Because the river's down.
It's not down that much. I think,
Not enough
Dave and I have talking about that right after Labor Day. I think we're going to go after it, and open it up, get her done. It'll be the new slide and the boat launch at the end. Contractors are ready. We're ready. Just water's got to be ready.
Got to drop, okay?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get those things done. It'll be good for the county.
So we have a VRC meeting tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Do we ever track numbers, Larry? Do we
You
have
know-
any way of tracking numbers?
So
Do we do traffic counters going in and out of like Francie Wallace or Brush Creek or?
we can do them.
Bar.
We can easily do them during the summer. It's the winter time that becomes a real problem. And that's when we're really packed in those areas during the winter. And we're looking at the possibility of, I'd rather purchase our own counters if we do it. You know, you can't use a camera because the snow will fill it up. You can't put a line across because the carbides on the sleds will cut it. It gets a little more difficult in the winter.
I wonder if you could use that GPS program that the road department has.
I haven't seen that before.
Might talk to Dan about it because they use it for road counts now. Because everybody has GPS in their cars, so it's all
Wow,
online.
yeah.
I think, isn't that in the next budget? They wanted to purchase it for this next year. But that's
But
a
I
good
think they're
thought. that
using
they could
something
use
like
it
that
too.
now.
Well, that'd be something else if we could do something like that, yeah. You know, we even talked about doing like the Forest Service gets grants to do their winter rangers, possibly getting a grant to hire seasonals during the winter, but I don't think we're ready for that yet.
I think that that would be very impactful on your grant writing.
Yeah.
If you had some numbers, because we,
Well, we do have some numbers. Of course, we've got our registration numbers, our snowmobile registration numbers that go to certain areas. I wish our OHV numbers went to areas, but they don't. It's just a statewide count. We've been trying to talk IDPR into changing that. It hasn't happened yet.
Are you gonna, do you do your own grants, or are you gonna, this new gentleman that's coming on as grant writer, you gonna be using him?
Well, Doug and I were going to have a conversation about how that was all going to work. We want to at least have all our grants have a good basis for him to work with, because you know it's not just us; it's going to be the sheriff's office and a lot of other offices that need to use the grant writer, and we don't want to take too long. We want to get all our grants in November. That gives IDPR the opportunity to review our grants and tell us if we need to change anything before the final review, before the final grading takes place. So, yeah, I would like to use the new grant writer, but I'm not going to count on it. We'll be prepared. I like Boy Scouts.
Like Boy Scouts.
Yes.
Hey, anything else for Larry?
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Have a good day. Next one up is Mara. You've got a bunch of action items. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys? So the last couple of weeks have been pretty busy. We had a meeting with All Lands Partnership. So National Forest Foundation is the company that's coming in. It's a nonprofit company that's coming in to do wildfire mitigation here in Valley County. They applied for a $24 million grant that they still are not aware if they've received that funding or not. They should know in October, November. But they should be scheduling an appointment to come talk to you guys about that. Sherry did go.
Coffee mug.
Oh, nice. Sherry did go to the meeting, so she's aware of some of the details. But some of the things that I brought up in those meetings as a little bit concerning is $24 million spent on wildfire mitigation here in Valley County, and how is that landowner outreach going to go? Is it going to always go through NFF now? We already have a department that's facilitating that, and it's all coming to me. And so now I'm having some other agencies come in, which is great. It's phenomenal. We have a lot of ground that needs to be worked on, but we just need to manage this a little bit better. And figure out how to facilitate that. And that's one of the questions I have for you guys, is what your expectation is of that and how we can facilitate that, especially because they're planning on hiring 34 staff in 4 years to help facilitate that. So if they're doing that, and then
I think we need them to come and present so these guys understand, you know, the full scope.
Yep.
Before we have a,
too much.
before we make decisions. You know, these guys don't understand. I got crabby with them because we hadn't heard from them yet, and they're impacting Valley County, so I got a little cranky and said they'd best be coming to the commissioner meeting, so they are working on that.
And then to
And-
let you know that Fish and Wildlife is doing the same thing. So they got about $1 million to spend within the SIL.
And they've already received those funds.
Correct, and they are actually starting to implement already.
Will
And this is
you,
all on private land, or is this national forest too?
All private.
will you set on that upcoming agenda an hour schedule? So make sure, you know, with Doug, maybe right after the NFF presents so that we can have a full conversation on what this looks like for Valley County and how we are going to best work with our partners. This is the other reason to get our resource management planning done, because all these agencies
Yeah.
are supposed to be working with us. And how
Maybe
they interact with
interesting
us.
discussion to see who's gonna manage that long-term.
Well, and that's the
That
biggest
was our
thing right now. There's a
discussion.
lot of funding for it right now, right? So the government's throwing a lot of funding at the wildfire crisis here in the West. And so longevity, who knows, right? But for 5 to 10 years is what they're kind of predicting that funding to help implement stuff.
We're asking them to provide Mara additional support as basically as a county employee. So pay for county employees underneath Mara so that she's the direct connection point. Because if not, if it's 5 years, then the year 6, all the people all of a sudden are gone. And Mara's here going, well, we've been doing this for longer than anything else.
Yeah, I don't want them to swallow up our program, I think.
Well, it's like they're
We can
in
separate.
competition with us.
In a way, they could be.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why we were pushing back and saying, no, we need to collaborate. And I don't think they have any intention of pushing us out. I just don't know that they know how to collaborate yet in the best way with us also.
Especially because they're trying to implement 10,000 acres in 5 years. I mean, that's a lot of ground, because if you think about how much Stephanie has accomplished every year, around 100 acres, and so they're trying to quadruple that, right? So they're gonna truly have to impact or hire a lot of people to do that much work.
So they're doing more than just what you guys are doing with clearing the ground and making it firewise. They're going to be thinning if they're doing 10,000 acres.
They have a sliding scale, which I'm hoping they'll talk to you guys about it when they do present. I know they already reached out to get a time. I'm not sure if they.
They haven't reached out yet.
Okay, well, I have a meeting tomorrow with one of them, so I'll make sure and tie in with them to see when they want to get on the schedule. But yeah, they have a scale, whether they're going to be logging, hand piling, if they're just doing mastication. So they have like different options where the county does mainly mastication because we don't want to leave any fuel on the ground for the landowner to manage after that. And so it's going to be a little bit different treatments that they're going to be offering on a sliding scale basis of price. So,
And I
and
have concerns too, they'll take all of our masticators that we've put in business and.
there's pros and cons to everything,
There's
right?
pros and cons to
So,
everything.
I
So they
mean-
need to work with us and not
Yeah.
against us.
Yeah, we were over in Montana, and they did that. And in this one area, and they're just little trees over there, but their slash piles were massive, bigger than any slash piles I've ever seen in my life. They were just enormous. I don't know if they were going to go in and grind them or light them off,
Yeah.
but they were the biggest slash piles I'd ever seen.
Yep. So that's one of the biggest things that's happening right now. I also have a meeting with Idaho Power on Friday. So I've been discussing with them in certain areas how I can help them facilitate wildfire mitigation where we're collaborating. And so their hardest part is reaching out to the landowner because they would like to take that whole 10 feet all the way to the ground so that those fields don't grow up into the power lines. So I've been helping them reach out to landowners and get permission. There's quite a few subdivisions off of Warren Wagon, PLC and PLCSA. We've been working with where we've gotten full permission on private roads for them to take all fuels that'll impact Idaho Power's power lines, which is phenomenal. Because that makes it so that they don't have to go back in there every year. They can go back in there every 3 to 5 years, right? So it's truly saving money on their end and time. Otherwise, they only do the 10 feet around the actual line itself. That's their easement, is that 10% or that 10-foot line. So I'm also going to look at some other ground and see if they want to help fund some larger wildfire mitigation potential areas. So instead of just doing around the power line, helping that whole subdivision get some mitigation work done. Whether they can or can't, I'm not sure. But that's what I'm doing on Fridays, taking them out to that area, showing them what Stephanie's going to accomplish, and then showing them in some common areas that I would like to get some funding to help start. Kind of that transition stage from me having money come in. Since I came in February, I wasn't able to apply for grants. So I still have a grant and I still have the G&A money, but there's going to be kind of a lull. So I'm trying to find some other avenues to find some additional funds. And that's one way I'm hoping it'll pan out.
Great job.
Laura, have you been paying attention to the latest out of the governor's office on what he's proposing. I've just read some short news clippets about what he's proposing for wildfire mitigation and taking the liability of some of the power companies and if they do. And I'm interested to see where that's gonna go.
Oh, interesting.
That's something he's been working on for quite a while, I guess.
Okay,
Because nobody wants to bankrupt your power company,
No.
like what's happening in California.
correct. Yep. I do know Idaho Power is a lot really progressive with what they're trying to do with fire mitigation. I'm not sure if California was the same scale, right? But it just seems like they're definitely taking wildfire prevention into a big account. So, but I am not aware of that. I'll have a discussion with them and see what they say.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure it's probably coming from the Maui fire, because a lot of those places were
yep.
started by the power lines
Yep.
after they burned down and all that kind of stuff, so.
I do know that they've been shutting down power, you probably have seen, in certain areas based off of wind and certain wind speeds. So I do know that's a huge thing that they're watching. Even if there's predicted and it doesn't show up, they still shut it down for a bit, just so something like that doesn't happen.
Yep.
So,
Okay, you want to move down to your action items?
yes,
So you want to do the landowner agreement with Tom Meckel first?
sure.
And this one I looked at, there's no money.
So none of the landowner agreements, so that's one thing that we'll have to discuss in the future. There's no money with landowner agreements. It's basically they're allowing Valley County to come onto their parcel and do a site visit, and they're agreeing that if there is a potential for their property to be viable for a grant, that we can help them with funding. So these never have any funding with it until we get to the contractor agreement.
I got you.
And so that's maybe a discussion to have if we need to always send these to legal, because they never change. The only thing that ever changes on them is the name, the grant, and that's it. So it's literally just the same agreement for each landowner. And just because they sign these doesn't mean we're actually gonna do work on their property. It's just making it so I can go out there and walk their property.
This allows you to have, they
Access.
agreed to let you come out, but
Doesn't mean we're gonna do anything.
do
'Cause
anything.
they might want something, but we might get out there and there might not be any work. And they think there is, but there's not. So it's just allowing, we like to do this. Stephanie's kind of done this through her whole career just to keep liability aspect, right? So that's why there's so many landowner agreements that you guys sign.
So do we want to just do a motion just to approve all these one time? It's
They're all the same, so.
all the same.
But I would reach out to Oki and,
Have more of a
See.
discussion.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's changed with mine with Stephanie's is Stephanie's only had the chairman's signature, and now mine has all of your guys' signatures. So that's one big change that would change too, is whether all three of you guys need to sign it or just the chairman.
It doesn't, anybody should be able to sign it. It's up to these guys. I think any of us should be able to sign it, not just the chairman.
Well, all three of your names are on the
Yeah,
new one.
we'll have to do it this way now. I think the issue that they're having, or Oak's having, is this last paragraph where it talks about indemnification and hold harmless the county. That's the big one that he would be concerned about. Sherry's got a good idea. I'd talk to him about it and see if they're okay with this, not having to run through them every time.
Okay.
If it's the same form for everybody, I think they should
is,
be pretty reasonable, but.
Okay, well, I'll have that discussion with them.
Okay, so you said it was okay to approve all of them at the same time. I'd entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the landowner agreements for Tom Meckel, Sandra Brown, Vern Brewer, Douglas Damrose, and Scott Meikle. Did I say it right?
I think so. I'm the worst at
I'll
pronouncing,
second.
so.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve all 5 landowner agreements. All in favor, please say aye.
I
Aye, motion carries.
really thrilled with the areas that you're getting. Really important. And Kings Pines is good too, so.
Just need something down at this end of the world. Just can't seem to sell it to anybody.
Yes, you get me Red Fox Applebee's. So we have a Firewise grant out on the Red Fox, and it's been a hard time having them actually implement. So that's the hardest
one
thing.
is that by summer?
It's down by Cabarton, right on the other, going out to his property.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something with my stuff here.
That's the hardest thing is getting the whole neighborhood. Like Kings Pine has been nice because they have an HOA, so it's easy to reach out to them, right? Or Elo's been even a little bit more challenging because it's not an HOA. They're all individual landowners and all I have is a mailing address, so I have to find their phone numbers, email, or just mail them something.
It shows 5. I think I just signed 4.
Oh, good.
Missed one?
Yes.
I'm just talking now. Jack, you want me to sign too?
I tried to do that with my wife, that didn't work very well.
Fred just used his card. I don't have checks in the apartment family.
Thank you.
Man, all the smoke is killing me. We gotta do something to get rid of forest fires.
Everybody.
My allergies are so bad.
Contractors.
He's not even going out today. She
She's scared.
yeah, she said, this mess
She's
is
gonna lose all of them.
She's having a rough time.
I mean, it's a good thing, right, that we're having more work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps them around and maybe they can get bigger, because right now a lot of them are pretty small. So maybe if there's.
Are they gonna bid out?
The problem is, if there's that many
treatment
acres,
areas?
they're probably gonna bring in a national company to do it, and that's gonna be the problem.
So NFF might do that. That one's unknown yet, but Fish and Wildlife, they did use all of our contractors to bid the 70 acres. So they're gonna do more larger scale stuff and bid it all out at once. Where like ours, we'll try to get 10 to 20 acres and bid it out. So that's a little bit different, as ours is usually a little bit smaller, where they're trying to do like 70 to 100 acres and bid it out for a whole year. So those contractors can still bid on ours, but they just have to manage their own time, right?
Yeah, that'll be the issue, so we'll be too busy.
Potentially.
Exactly.
That's almost like a logging.
Where's the 70 acres at, do you know?
On Solon's property,
Oh,
Harry Solon's,
Over on the west side.
on West Mountain?
right by White Cloud.
Yeah.
Where that White Cloud fire is, and that's why
Seven?
they chose that area.
Oh,
So you know where the Meckles had their pit down there on
Yeah.
BLM ground?
Mhm.
It's just adjacent to that, to the east.
That abuts a lot of the Valley County ground right in there
It
too.
does.
That's interesting.
Well, like you said, it's a good thing that it's getting done, but we wanna make sure we keep our program healthy too.
Correct, yes.
We'll have to figure it out. Okay,
Thank you.
anything else?
It's almost like a logging sale.
Okay, we're way ahead of schedule,
we,
so I need a break, and then we'll
Wow.
go to Scott.
Well, hold on, can we do our executive or take Scott
Let's
first
do Scott while
and
he's
then
here, and
do,
then we can do that.
and then do the executive, yeah?
Can we go mute for 5 minutes? I'll be right back. We back on, Doug?
We are, sir.
Okay, our next agenda item is buildings and grounds. Scott, come on up. Good morning.
Morning. So, see, we've opened the main entrance back up again. We don't really have a handicapped parking spot out there till they get the pavement done, but we don't really have a schedule on that. I don't know if they're gonna wait till they're all done and come do all the paving. But we are open back up. Our steps are all poured. Looks like they're out there working on our retaining walls. I did talk with Trevor, the engineer, because their sidewalks came in below a lot of our block, or some areas of our block. There's dirt there now. So he's talking to me. I have to unstack those and put block where the dirt is, because if not, it's going to erode out onto the.
Sure, and then the wall's gonna tip over.
Yeah, and then they've got some that the block is eroding, so he thinks we should maybe share the cost of replacing those. But they were fine until they moved the sidewalk, so I'm not quite so sure about that. But
Can we get more of that block?
oh yeah, I mean, they can Alpha, can get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they can, because that's kind of you see a lot of it's used out there. And then we're
Well,
gonna
if
take.
If you lower that wall, what's it do to the parking behind it? Does it do anything? I'm not familiar enough with that.
We're
area.
they're not gonna lower the wall or anything out there. You're talking about.
There's dirt showing?
Yeah, what it is when they took the sidewalk out, the new sidewalk with the new grade on it ended up exposing dirt in some spots. Kind of like the wall we redid over here, about 3/4 of the way over. They stopped putting, the number of blocks is not the same. So we ended up with like about a 5-6 foot area where we have, like 3 inches, 4 inches of dirt now. There, down by where the smokers went in, that thing, we actually have a step there, about a 4-inch step now up to that. The blocks on the corners of those walls, one's kind of eroded and stuff. It's exposed now. So we need to do something about that. And then down here, south of the entrance, the grass is like 8 inches higher than the sidewalk now. So they're gonna pour a small curb is what they're gonna do there and stuff. So once those are all repaired, we should be wrapped up. Trying to get the asphalt done out here, but now the city's kind of throwing a deal in it. They wanted to replace the water line from Pine to Spring Street. Trying to find the funding. So we get all brand new pavement out here, then they want to dig right through it. And so I talked with the mayor last week. She's trying to find the funding to do it, to do the water line, and because we got the month of September and then paving season's over, and I'd like to get it done.
Yep.
Is that an old water line, or why did they replace it?
I'm not quite sure why they want to replace it. I know they ran water line to the jail here because they ended up, from the history I got from Scott, they tore up the heating and cooling lines out there and that line seems to come as far and then it winds off to the jail. So I know the leak we had in the corner over here where the water was coming up, I guess that's where that was a water line with a banded patch on it or something. So I don't know if it runs kind of along that edge over there where it runs. I get a little concerned with them digging out there because we have all our 911 stuff running from here over to that box. We have communications that runs from over here into the old boiler room. There's a lot of stuff they got to negotiate around out there if they do dig through there. So, like she said, see if we could coordinate the water line and replacing the pavement at the same time.
Well, the other thing that just popped in my mind is if we end up tearing the north half down, you're gonna need a new hookup for all that internet stuff, all the electronic stuff. Wonder if you should dig that trench and lay a conduit for that.
I don't know where we're going to come in with that new one. I mean, how far are we coming this way with
I
tearing
don't
it up?
know. That's just something that
So that'll probably be something that'll be.
I hate to cut it. Let's cut it for a new.
Sub-bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Might have to pull it.
So,
Okay.
so yeah. We have household hazardous waste this Saturday. We're gonna be doing that.
Scott, can we get a breakdown on what people can bring? There's so many questions on Facebook about whether they can bring batteries and fire extinguishers and, you know, what they can bring. Do you think the company could provide a list of something that we can put out that
Yeah, I can see if we can get some,
would be great? Have Mackenzie post it.
yeah. Yeah, because I was getting calls this weekend.
Is that gonna include electronic waste?
No.
We're still taking electronic waste at the HERF though.
Some, I mean, we're not gonna see it if they bring it, you know, unless we, you know, dig into what they're bringing in there. I think it's just getting pitched in there.
Yeah, I think it is too.
And stuff. You know, we're gonna have to finish up with the rodeo grounds, the building down there and stuff. See if we can, you know, get the building finished up and stuff down there. We went to a fair board meeting last week that didn't happen, so I was hoping to get we were sitting up there waiting, and Neil finally called. No, we don't have one on the month of the fair and rodeo. Because I'd like to have them
Jeez.
get a
I
list.
didn't know that, but it was on my schedule.
Neither is the gal that works up there. She had her agenda and everything out there too. Because I really like to get a list of what they'd like next year, so we can get started on it now instead of 2-3 weeks before, you know, the function's going to happen, and we're trying to scramble to get stuff done. So.
And you've been tallying the expenses that we paid today to Toby as far as all of that.
Yeah, you had the claims today.
Are we getting close to running out of money, or do you know where we are?
No.
So we've got the other 35,000
Mm-hmm.
that the fair board doesn't need. I think we need to reallocate that to Scott and make sure that we're covered.
Well,
as far as the
it would have to
needs.
be tied into, put it into the fair, the maintenance or something.
Yeah, it's
right?
gotta be, I should get you that code, Sheriff, because it says in the code that if you levy for the full amount, they get to keep it even if there's cash carryover. It has to stay in that budget.
I was talking with Toby, we'd like to buy some more bleachers. I don't want to do another $82,000 one, but he was talking, we get something that we got, you know, put together and they're permanent there. Because they had, you know, again, standing room only and stuff. Also, other discussions happening is the number of people that snuck in, the revenue lost, about doing a chain link fence across there, trying to secure it more, because he said especially Friday, people, you know, snuck in and just, there was a bunch of revenue loss at that. So kind of coming off the corner of the new building we just put up and go up to the highway, you know, something with some big gates in it, and then, you know, have, you know, the ticket booth opening and stuff, and try
I think
to
that's a great idea.
do something like that so we can kind of have some crowd control. I mean, it's a little hard. They can kind of sneak through the Maritidal down there and come across the railroad tracks if they're determined, you know. But, so look at some, you know, those type improvements, you know, additional improvements down there that, you know, maybe use that money for and stuff.
Well, and I'm assuming once they get the new bathrooms done, you're gonna tear down the old bathroom.
Yeah, yes, you know, we were kind of thinking they're going to continue, probably have to rent like a half dozen porta potties to put inside, you know, around the bleachers or on the backside or something, and stuff, because we, you know, we just did not have the money to build a big enough, you know, to add enough, you know, bathrooms to be adequate there. So it's either we tear those down or we look at trying to make them, you know, more functional, to augment that. But then if we put the chain link fence up, then they'll be on the outside of the chain link fence. So
That's not good.
so yeah, it's you know, you see at most fair and rodeos that they have porta potties. It's just that number of crowd that you'd have to have huge bathrooms
Oh, yeah.
to accommodate that. So I think it's always going to be a deal where they're going to have to rent some additional, you know, porta potties to have around there. Especially people, you know, if they're down at the south end, unless they're coming up to concessions or something, it'd be nice to have something closer for us so they can get back and watch what they came to watch and stuff, you know. Things, so, trying to think what else is going on right now. Say when they do the paving out there, they're gonna patch the deal out there. It's all, Tri-State came back and got it all recompacted and ready to, they'll just dig out enough to pave it and stuff, but that'll be, in conjunction when they do the paving out front here, is what Brad's telling me, so.
Be nice if the city could work with this paving group and do that whole section in front of the sheriff's office.
Well, it is. I mean, what we budgeted, and what they bid, that includes doing this in front of the sheriff's department and down the, west side of the
West side,
jail.
too.
Yeah. So,
Are they gonna do the street?
No.
The street out here too?
no, that's not in our budget.
Are you gonna fill this hole that's out here?
Well, I noticed what they did, they probably cut across the road about a 10 or 15 foot swath. They're gonna tear that out
Good.
when they pave and fill that hole out there. Cause I could see the sawmarks was, I just lost his name, Bo, who's kind of running the job here for, Granite. Because we had to put gravel in the cutout so people could walk across and not trip in it. So I was looking, I said, well, they're gonna fix that, it looks like too, at the same time.
Good.
And stuff. And things, so, I think we're, trying to wrap up the Wi-Fi thermostats and stuff. They're all installed and things. So now they're working on the program and stuff to get on my, and I got to go back and make a map of where all these, you know, what heat pump goes to what room and stuff. And,
Probably a good thing to have.
yeah, because I have heat pump 30. Where's heat pump 30 at? You know, you know. So I've got to get that coordinated so I know where they're at and stuff and things.
So they've got all the stats installed now?
Yeah. Mhm.
We didn't get one, huh?
Well, because this is not a heat pump here. They're
Oh,
only for the heat pumps. That's only for your air conditioning. That's all it controls, basically and
I
stuff.
mean, Sherry.
'Cause your heating is your baseboard in here.
Turned it down.
When we lost the steam, you know. Fortunately, it'd been nice if that steam could have kept going because it's.
Oh, man, those are really old pipes.
Oh yeah, I know.
Those are like-
We worked on them down there. Remember? Yeah.
We'd have to bring them up above the floor to
Oh, yeah.
rebuild that system.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it was a lot better heating. I mean, it was, you know, trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover. Say, you know, I'll be here next week and then basically from the 5th to the 30th, I won't be here. Basically September.
So Mitch will be the contact?
Yeah. Mhm. I'll get him lined out. I need to actually talk with Jeremy, see if I can get him set up as an extra user on my computer. So if he needs to email or let people know what's going on, paving or, you know, or anything. I did talk to Al's over here, Renee Shoup, about, you know, letting us kind of, you know, park maybe a dozen cars over there while this is not available and stuff. So
He was good with it?
yeah,
Good, good.
stuff. And I'm gonna reach out to him one more time.
Might have to put up some kind of signage for the public that they can park there for courthouse entrance or something like that.
Well, you know, we have this over here. This is more, all the people that are parking in here gotta have some place to park and
Oh,
stuff.
when you pay?
Yeah, and stuff, so, and things, so, and stuff. Trying to think of anything else. Sherry, you sent a deal about a horse to me. What's it?
There's a lady that had said she needed horse boarding. I assumed it was because of the fires.
Mhm.
But then she sent an email back and said, thanks, I'm a single lady coming through. And we don't do that.
No, I mean, if someone's rancher's being threatened by fire or something, you know, emergency situation, but we don't want to start trying to
Okay.
provide boarding. I mean,
I can reach back to her then and just tell her we don't provide boarding just
yeah,
for
only
travel.
emergency situations
Okay.
and stuff.
Most people that travel with horses bring their own set of panels and do their own corrals.
Yeah, I'm gonna pack them on the side of their trailers
And everything is on site.
and stuff. Yeah, things. So yeah,
Or you could hobble them and tie them to a tree.
Yeah. So,
Can't think of anything else, Scott.
okay. Okay. That's it for now.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I have another, I already got the request for the spook house for this Halloween down there. I just gotta get back with her. The insurance stuff doesn't list the actual property, nor does it say the certificate holder is Valley County, so I need to reach back to them.
Is that with Brian Hines?
Yeah, and another, Shauna,
Arnold.
what? Arnold, yeah.
Arnold, yeah.
Yeah, I think she filled it out, the paperwork and stuff, so.
And they've usually provided it in the past.
Yeah, they always do, except the policy they sent lists their properties in town here. It doesn't list the actual location of the
So it's
spook house.
amended.
And then one of the things it does is the certificate holder on their insurance has to say Valley County that they're insuring us, so, I need to get back with her and get on that. I did receive the one for the Matt Loomis, and we got that, scanned into.
That's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's all in, been scanned in on record. We have it on Laserfish with his, so I'll have that next week. Okay, thank you.
Can't think of anything else. Okay. Need a quick break? So we'll go mute and see you back here about 10:30. See if Mackenzie shows up.
You want to take the
She
executive
online?
now?
When did you want to do that executive?
Now, as soon as you get back, I
As soon
think.
as you get back, we can do it. Would you ask Mike to come too? Back on?
Back on.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. At this time, we're going to go, I'm going to make the motion, we go into an executive session, right at Ohio Code 742061B, employee evaluation.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second by roll call, please.
Thompson, aye.
Bob and I.
Does Rick, I, and Doug Wu begin at